Puppy.
Why you do landscaping last, but I just can't help it. I should probably just kept mowing.
It'll be alright. Do you need help? Okay.
I need to struggle.
Okay. Jafana has spent a lot of time getting the landscaping exactly the way that she wants it. But one of the challenges we've run into is that sometimes we have to be a little fluid in the way that we're doing things. The area that she had one of her larger plants needs to be cleared so that we can put an air conditioning condenser there. Since she seemed to have this well in hand, I took the opportunity to work on the inside of the house and finish pulling the electrical line for the air conditioner all the way to the breaker box.
Hey, okay.
It's all done. So that side's finished.
Aww. Wow.
It's all tacked up, nice and neat.
Okay.
Everything needs to be. I've got, I'm never going to need to, but I've got a foot of play in here.
Okay.
I believe that it comes out of the right side of the air handler. I will set where it's going to go based upon where I can put a hole above it, and that way when I bring the channel down, this one can simply join into the same channel, and that way we only have one thing on the outside of the house.
So will there be anything on the inside besides
There'll
the
be
unit?
an air handler.
Just the,
Right.
oh,
That's
I
it.
love it.
That's all you got.
That's
Everything else goes through the wall outside
outside.
to the outside
Okay.
unit. So right about here,
Oh, nice.
right?
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
the other one is going to be up higher on this wall.
Oh, I like that.
So it's going to be about within a foot of the beam.
Okay.
That should handle this. I mean, that's really one of those would be enough to do both of these rooms if it was open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's overkill.
Can't you, like, you can't put a vent through?
Why would I do that?
I don't know, because save money for a unit.
I've already paid for the units.
Okay, well, that would have been my
No,
input.
the only downside is that it's overkill and it may not cycle as much. So it could cause humidity problems, and we'll just adjust the way that it's used because it's got a humidity setting on it. It's not a big deal. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So. While they weren't on the punch list, we did notice some things as we were going that needed a little bit of adjustment. One of those is the manner in which we had the water lines for the kitchen routed through the wall. Another was the niche that Jafana wants in the showers. I've always pronounced it as niche, but I've been corrected. I still think I'm right.
Hey, does it fit? Right that one corner. Oh, darn it.
You'd actually have to turn that on. Well, it's not done yet. I got to put another piece of wood in here to be able to take a nail. I need that little level.
Okay.
I mean, there's not really much I can do if it's not level, but I have a little bit of flexibility. This should fit here. Alright, that should be pretty good. It doesn't stick out at all. Put it this way just a bit. There we go. There we are.
That is exactly. Having not done this before, I know that you can cut it away and put it in afterwards, but can you put it in before the drywall goes in? And I figured it's screwed in. They could always take it out. So I'm down to the end of the list, basically. For the most part, I've got all those little ticky-tack things that I kind of sort of finished the job and then left some piece of it hanging. So that's where we are. I was able to get everything on here done. I'm holding off on doing the AC line set holes until the AC equipment shows up, supposedly this coming week. And that way I'll be able to get an idea of the size and what size of a hole I need. I want to make the smallest hole that I can possibly get away with. What I'm doing right now is I call it mud rings, drywall rings. We get a lot of questions about why we have OSB on the walls, and it was stipulated in our plans because these are shear walls. So the OSB goes up because of the shear wall. In order to put those little round light outlets in there, the only thing I could find where I could do it was using a retro box. Well, the problem with the retro box is that usually that goes on after you have drywall. But I found these little black plastic mud rings that you just screw onto it, and then the whole thing is set up so that they can come in, do the drywall, and you've got the necessary reveal. Go ahead and finish off your lighting. So I'm doing that, getting that knocked out. I've got the mechanical room, and I don't even have to have this done for inspection. I've got the septic line electric that has to be run, but I can do that while they're doing drywall. Big job for tomorrow is the propane gas line. That's not fun. That ain't working. Come on. Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Tear out. It's not really getting all the way through the hole. It's leaving a ragged edge. Okay. We are trying to run the CSST flexible stainless steel gas line. CSST is corrugated stainless steel. I don't know what the T stands for. Stuff. So we're trying to run the flexible stainless steel gas line. Our stove is going to be right here, and the gas line is going to come out right about here. It's going to run up the wall. That's why I've got an armored channel here. I've also got some little flexible steel armor that's going to go on the gas line in the wall so nobody can drive a screw through the wall and into it. It's going to be a pain, and I knew it was going to be a pain. I just didn't know how much of a pain. I've got to choose a direction to go. I can either start on that end, run the line up over this way, and work it through this direction, then bending it, I've got to go downward. Or I can start over here, come up, and go that way. Either way, it's going to be a pain. Sugar? Yeah. Let's do this horrible thing that's going to make us miserable for the day. And the truth is, neither one of us is like feeling it today. We're just not in that great of a mood to be building. I don't know why. It's hot as blazes and sticky, and when we got here the air conditioner was turned off because the fuse blew from the storm. So it's a little uncomfortable in here, but it's much better than being outside right now. If the line has to go under here, that direction, and then it's going to kind of weave past those pieces of...
And it can do that?
Yeah, it's flexible.
Okay. No, I mean like that's code.
Yes, within that'll be fine. So it's going to go that way. Where do you want to be? I mean, the stairs are right there in the way.
I can feed it right up here from here.
All right, you got to be careful with that stuff. It's not designed to be rugged.
Okay. Sugar knife.
Yeah, I don't want to get too close to that. was exciting.
Unexpected.
So if you're using Tracpipe and you cut that little thing, it's going to unwind quickly.
You're lucky you didn't lose your teeth.
I'm lucky the knife didn't cut it.
So,
CSST, corrugated stainless steel tubing, was invented in 1988 and was approved for all commercial and residential buildings in 2003. CSST has grown in popularity over the last 2 decades and is in use in over half of new construction in the United States. Traditionally, you would see yellow used to signify a gas line, and the older CSST and some of the CSST that's still used is yellow. The black is an arc-resistant shielding on the CSST.
I've got the gas line coming across. I've got it fastened to every one of the rafters. Comes across, it's got a little arch to it, and comes here. It's gonna run this way. I'm gonna run it along this joist. It's tucked all the way back behind that 2x4, so it's protected from where the screws are going to be when they put the drywall in on this side. I'm just going to keep taking it, working it that direction, and then eventually I got to go down.
The black shielding on the CSST that I'm using is an arc shield. It's designed to dissipate electricity from a lightning strike to prevent the possibility of pinholes developing in the line, causing a fire and explosion hazard. I think it's important to note that while it is flexible, it can kink, and you have to be careful when pulling it through a hole or around a corner to make sure there isn't too much torsion on the pipe as you're pulling it, because that can lead to having a kink.
Well, we managed to get it in there and done. Started to have a little kink in it, but we're good, I believe. It just started to get an ugly bend to it. We stopped, fixed what we were doing, moved on. I thought we had everything that we need, but we actually need to get an appliance box similar to that one right there that we use for the cold water for the refrigerator, just a little bit bigger. And the reason that we want that is so that we can have it recessed into the wall a little bit to make it easier to get the stove all the way pushed back toward the wall. So that's what we're getting ready to go do now, is pick that up. That way when we come back here tomorrow, we can get that knocked out in the morning, put it under pressure, and cross fingers, scratch that puppy off the list. I need a different ladder. Well, I can see outside now. This is from the outside. I came out here because I'm going to try to cut inward so I don't get a lot of tear out around here. There is going to be a flange there, but I want it to look as neat as possible so that when I bring the lines through and bend them down, it'll cover up real nice. I don't have a cement type hole saw on this one, so I know this is going to get destroyed. I'm going to use it right here, and I'm going to try to use it on a couple other spots in the house. I figure by the time I've used this thing 4 places, I'll have to get a new one. It looks like it's gonna work. That's a hole, and it leans down. I've got it leaning down because I'm gonna be up in the attic when I stick those 2 lines through. A lot of folks aren't clear on what I'm doing or why I'm doing it the way that I'm doing, but you're just gonna have to trust me. I got this worked out. It's done. So I think I can probably get 3 more uses out of this thing, and that'll be the other 3 holes that we have to do, or 4 more uses.
So can we cross that off the list? Is that it? That's all I'm supposed to do, or no?
All I got to do is have a small piece of OSB to screw over top of it so that nothing can climb in it.
Well, can't we use that
I'll do it from the inside and just stuff it with rags on the outside.
Can't we use the same plug or no?
I can stuff it back in there, yeah. And tape it.
Exactly.
That'll work.
Tape. Duct tape.
Duct tape, there you go. Put some Gorilla Tape on it, fixes everything. Gas line going across. You see we put that little bit of a kink in it, but we were smart enough not to try to unkink it, because when you unkink it is when you split it. It works the way it is, it should be fine. The reason I'm not working on the gas line right now is we went to the store last night to pick up a couple things for it. I thought that I had all the black iron pieces that I need, and I don't. So instead of worrying with that or thinking about running to the store and wasting a day, I'm just doing the other things on my list. Perfect. Little white Gorilla Tape, all set. Kind of fits with the rest of the stuff that I do, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't look too bad. Can't even see it.
So that's just gonna stay in.
That's just gonna be there until,
drywall,
yeah.
And then I'm not worried. I'm just asking. So not worried.
Not worried? You sure?
Not worried. We're just
Yeah.
gonna wait for them.
Well, day is almost done. I didn't do any filming this afternoon, but I worked in the mechanical room on the electrical panel. My helper is tidying things up after the mess that I made. But I ran as many lines as I could. I'm out of GFIs, so that one has to wait. I do have the air conditioning line in. That's a 45 amp breaker. I was a little concerned that the ground wasn't actually going to fit in there and that I was going to have to get a lug, but it fits just perfectly. And that's it. I'm getting ready to put the lid back on that thing and turn it back on. Right now we are on generator power. And I got rid of that Romex that I had coming over here to my first line inside the mechanical room. That was a pain because I had to basically cut it out of the panel because it came in right behind the well pump line. It's just hot right now. I mean, it's hot and it's humid. Even with this little air conditioner running over here, it's still hot and humid. I may have to build out a little raised channel here to cover with a piece of plywood. We'll see what they say when they come in to do the inspection. And since I got some hate on my manifold, thought I'd show it again because I like it. Hey, look at that. There's light. And there's the air conditioner. Alright, back in business.
Thanks for watching. We know there's a lot of other things you could be doing with your time, and we really appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out how it's going with us. Don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. We'll see you guys again next time at BreakHeartOrchard.
Well, welcome back. God, the camera. I changed the perspective on this thing. Hold on a second here. And in order to put those little round light cups in there, the little round, the hell do you call those things? Outlets. It does not matter which way we go, it's gonna suck.
What was that?
It was me failing.